Hello and welcome to KMVC News. I am Jesus Zilli.
And I'm Amber Tabling. As the spring semester starts, Missouri Valley College Women's Missouri First Female Supreme Court Justice to campus. And as KMVC's Bobby Collins reports, building a legacy can never be planned.
Missouri Valley College Honors Program welcomed Ann Covington to talk to students about law and overcoming challenges in the judicial system. Judge Covington spent 40 years as a judge and lawyer in the state of Missouri. Covington never thought that she would one day be a trailblazer in law.
I wanted to be regarded just as a good lawyer, not as a woman lawyer, but just a good lawyer. And so that was my focus. It was not really anything beyond that. It was a little bit of a challenge to begin with because it required interaction with all male colleagues, and so I wanted gently but strongly to try to suggest that more women in the profession should be involved in more leadership roles.
Covington admitted that she fell into the law program after starting a family and wanted to go back to school in order to seek a meaningful career. Enrolled into the law program at the University of Missouri-Columbia after realizing her dream of teaching seemed unattainable. Covington connected with many of the audience members. Before a faculty member of Missouri Valley, her bond with Covington is bigger than anyone could imagine.
I'm so proud of my mom, not just for being a trailblazer and being the first woman Supreme Court Justice in the state of Missouri and being such a great role model for so many, not just women, but all people. But she's such a great role model, not just to me, but to everyone, because she is such a person of character. And she believes in helping people, in serving people, in listening, in learning, and making change in a thoughtful way to support what's right.
Bellamy went on to say that her mom was always supportive of her finding her own path and building her own legacy. She never felt pressure to follow behind her mother, and her not molding her helped build her own interests. Bobby Collins, KMVC News.
The next speaker will be Dustin Staton of Staton Brother Farms at 1 on March 19th. In every theater around the world, there is a story to be told. KMVC's Troy Jones reports on 2 theater students trying to make their voices heard.
You're probably wondering why there's only 2 of us.
The Missouri Valley College Division of Fine Arts held a performance named Devised Genesis at the Morrison Experimental Theater last weekend. Students performed 2 original unscripted acts that focused on self-embracement and challenging the social norm.
Yeah, I really liked the cast. I liked the 2 females I was in. It was pretty funny. I liked the sarcasm and everything.
The production allowed the audience to interact with the 2 cast members.
It was actually kind of interesting, bro. It was real good. I liked the scenery or whatever, and I liked how they dimmed the lights and everything, how they talked about anxiety, because that stuff is real. And it was informative, and it made me think a little bit.
The Devised Genesis performance is based off the inspiration and research of MVC students Allie Taylor and Michaela Rogers.
Overall, I think it was a good show, and it was fun and interactive, and did a good job.
The 2 students wanted to express that even with personal issues like anxiety, people could still be creative.
They tackled a lot of issues that are, not a lot of issues, but a serious issue that's going on in the world right now.
The 2 MVC students also wanted people to recognize patterns that they use in their everyday lives and how people react to uncommon situations.
I just went there to be entertained, but I actually came out with some information.
A performance that inspires everyone to take a look at themselves. Troy Jones, KMVC News.
The next performance from the MVC Division of Fine Arts is a repertory dance ensemble concert in February.
The Missouri Valley College campus has been within an array of weather including rain, sleet, snow, and also a couple unexpected sunny days. KMVC's Ben Boyer reports on the weather and how you can stay warm this season.
While many are used to the cold that comes with the winter season, not all students at Missouri Valley campus are ready for the frigid temperatures. Today we have Raheem Mellon with us to talk more about the winter weather.
What I've experienced from the weather here is that it changes very frequently.
So it could be snowy today, and then tomorrow everything is dried up, and the heat just comes up out of nowhere again. Curacao is a big difference because it doesn't really get cold in Curacao, so it's hot weather during the whole season. Yeah, the difference in the weather is mostly based on how quick it changes.
Mm-hmm.
To be best prepared for cold weather, I would guess it's to have a thick blouse, a hoodie, and of course to have your winter jacket.
Always remember to wear the correct clothing and bundle up. An extra hat or coat is never a bad thing to have when traveling around campus in the cold weather. Washing your hands as much as possible, keeping hydrated, and eating 3 well-balanced meals a day will help in preventing the spread of influenza or the flu virus. My name is Ben Boyer, reporting from KMVC News.
Missouri Valley Men's Wrestling celebrated senior night with a conference duel against Baker University. Both teams came into the duel ranked in the top 25. The Vikings are the second-ranked team in the nation. 4 seniors wrestled as part of senior night, 3 didn't because of injuries. It's a group that's seen success in its years on campus. Valley's only team finish outside the top 10 nationally came in 2017, and each team featured no fewer than 3 All-Americans. A group that includes seniors Andrew Simmons and TJ Barnes.
Well, anytime you have 7 seniors, that means you had a class that came and stuck with you and worked very hard. And I think it shows this year with, overall with the mentality of the team. You got some decent leadership. You got guys that are pushing, to finish off their careers. And some of these guys had great careers. So, it's great to have them. On the other side, it's really tough because now you got to fill 7 holes.
Valley followed up its tournament with a loss at number 1 Grandview and a victory against Graceland. Next up is the Missouri Valley Open. What started as a small college tournament has grown tremendously in the last 8 years. Wrestlers from non-Division I 4-year institutions from around the country traveled to Marshall to compete against some of the best wrestlers in the country. Missouri Valley College men's wrestling team held its 8th annual invitational meet this past weekend that ended in a team championship.
We had 35 teams. 7 of the top 10 teams were here, all the top 5, and then 13 of the top 20 teams were in this tournament. Every weight class had individuals in each weight class that were ranked in the top 20.
After the first night of the competition on Friday, Missouri Valley ended the night leading in team points.
But it was very satisfying, but also lots of pressure because now you're leading the tournament. You need to be able to finish it.
My mindset was to score as many points as I can, get my lungs back. I haven't wrestled 7 minutes at all this year, so it was to be able to just keep attacking for 7 minutes and see if I could, even if I got tired, just keep attacking.
Starting up again Saturday at number 1 as a team set the bar high for the Vikings as they faced more top-tier teams and wrestlers on finals day.
For me, it was being able to understand how to make weight the second day and be able to perform at a high level on that second day.
We have to show up and do our part of it, and if we do, then I think we've got a great opportunity, to bring home a team trophy. Now, which one that's going to be, only time will tell on that, but I think we've got a great opportunity.
Missouri Valley College won the team championship with a total score of 157 points. Individually, Valley had 3 wrestlers place second, 2 place third, and 3 place fourth in their weight class. Valley followed up its tournament with a loss at number 1 Grandview and a victory against Graceland. Next up is the Missouri Valley Open.
Continuing coverage on KMVC, plans continue to progress for the Missouri Valley College eSports, a sport that involves a gaming chair and a computer. KMVC TJ Barnes reports about the upcoming eSports season.
With esports on the rise, Coach Ocampo, already part of the National Association of Collegiate Esports, plans to get started as soon as possible.
There are 2 leagues so far that will be a part of. One would be ULOL, which is the University League of Legends League, which is run by Rift. They are the organization or the company that actually, they own League of Legends. Basically, they're the programmers. And we're also looking at the Collegiate Star League.
They plan on using specialized computers, but still use the same Wi-Fi, just with a little increase in power.
So the way that's going to work is that they are going to reserve bandwidth for our practice time. Like the increased bandwidth that we're getting, the idea is that they'll reserve that bandwidth for the game hub when we are practicing and when we have tournaments.
The excitement for the upcoming eSports team is palpable for the students on campus.
I think it's really, really cool that they're bringing that because, whether people want to admit it or not, if you don't like video games at all, video games are becoming more and more popular.
TJ Barnes, KMVC News.
Valley is hosting an informational meeting on January 30th in the Malcolm Center's Bacon Room for students who are interested in joining the program. Missouri's winter has been cold this year, but Missouri Valley College men's basketball team has found a way to stay far up and keep conference hopes alive. KMVC's Shane Clary reports on how the team plans to stay hot and prepare for the postseason.
Since our last show in the beginning of December, the men's team is sitting at a 13-8 overall record. With some ups and downs in the conference play, the team is staying above water with a conference record of 5-5.
Some excitement in recent play involves a comeback win against a conference matchup with Baker University. The Vikings dug themselves a hole all game, but fought back to make it a victory. The hero of that game comes from junior shooting guard Larry Plummer and his game-winning three-pointer to top Baker 84-83. Senior guards Tim Washington and Remy Price explain what has been some success to their offensive boost and what can be improved to help the team.
Scoring is naturally kind of easy, so I try to just, do other things too, like play defense, But William Penn, they're the same every year. I get up for those type of games, so really I look forward to playing them. So,
as far as going into the end of our season, we just have to trust each other, stay together.
Some of the keys for us, I think, are being able to definitely share the basketball. I think we've been able to get a lot of guys different involved. We've been able to get a lot of point production from several different people on the floor. Right now, obviously, Tim Washington has been leading the way for us offensively. I think he's been both doing it in the full court and in half court as well.
Coming up, the Vikings host Clark University on the 31st and then begin a 3-game road trip to CMU, Culver Stockton, and Baker. Shane Clary, KMVC News.
Missouri Valley lost against William Penn, but beat Evangel to stay in second place in the Heart of America Athletic Conference Southern Division.
The Missouri Valley College women's basketball team is off to its best start in more than 10 years. As KMVC's Victor Casey reports, head coach Tim Dixon believes this team can only improve.
The women's basketball team overall record is 11-7 and 5-5 in the Heart of America Athletic Conference. Coach Dixon tells us how this team is only a few wins away from making school history.
Yeah, I think we've been doing really well this year. We have a lot of potential, and I think we're off to our best start since I've been here in 4 years. We are pretty successful and have only the 3rd winning season in school history.
Senior shooting guard Veronica Petkova is leading the team in points, rebounds, assists, and steals. All Petkova wants to do the rest of the season is be a leader for the team.
Basketball is a team sport, and in order one to be good, he needs to look like and help other people. And we have a lot of freshmen, sophomores too, and I want to set an example for other players.
The team is currently ranked 2nd in the NAIA with assists averaging close to 20 per game. Victor Casey, KMVC News.
The women's next game is against Clark University in the Burns Athletic Center on January 31st. Each year, Missouri Valley College demonstrates its high competitive level in sports.
The cheer team is also highly competitive, and it is showing that it is ready to defeat any opponent. The Missouri Valley College cheerleading team just started its season this past Friday at the Spartan Showcase in St. Louis, Missouri. They had an intense training of 6 days and 17 practice this winter break in order to be in good shape for the competitions. They call it the Hell Week.
Well, it was really hard. It was a lot of practices, like 3 times a day. We would have practices for like 3 hours at the most. It was really helpful because by the time we had learned the routine, it was just like learning how to clean everything and make it look a lot better than we were actually performing it.
The expectations are high. And head coach Victoria Cox knows that the team has to improve some details in order to be the best.
On the mat, we look for skills that don't fall. They need to be able to execute almost perfectly. So we have some of the highest difficulty stunts that the school's ever done. Pyramids have to look effortless, just absolutely, perfection. We know that perfection is not attainable, but it doesn't mean we don't strive every single practice to get there.
The team got third place in its first competition, and they are already fixing the little details and continuing to strive for perfection. The next competition will be the Heart of American Athletic Conference Championship and on February 3rd at Grandview University. That's KMVC News for this week. I'm Jesus Zilli.
And I'm Amber Tabling. Thanks for watching KMVC News.